Hey ladies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the At Home with Priscilla J / Her Faith Walk YouTube channel. So if you are new here, you haven't seen the change of name, of course, because it's your first time here, but if you have been here, you see the change of name. And the change of name comes because I really want to begin showing you parts of my life as a Christian woman living with bipolar disorder. And in this particular video, I am doing a cook with me. I'm excited to share a new recipe that I am trying with you all, and I'll show you highlights of that in this video, and then we'll also get into some discussion about trusting God in everything. This is just something so important, and I was studying on this and actually Noah came to mind. So we're going to talk a little bit about Noah today and how he trusted God in everything, and that's what we should do as well. Alright, so today's recipe is coming from a book that we picked up from the library. It's called Seriously Good Freezer Meals. Now, this book that we're using does have freezer meals in it, but one thing I love about this book is if you want to go ahead and prepare this meal ahead of time and just eat it from hot, you can do that as well. What I'm cooking today is a cheesy chicken, broccoli, and rice dish. And so for those of you that picked that on the poll, you're absolutely right. Maybe sometime in the future I'll come on here and show how I make my chili and some lemon pepper fish, but today we're focusing on this broccoli, rice, chicken, and cheese dish. Alright, so this recipe is requiring a few things here. This is actually the recipe for the vegetarian white sauce that will be included in the recipe. And then in this page, moving backward, you will actually find what the dish is actually supposed to look like. Let's pray it looks like that. And it's a deep dish, cheesy broccoli, brown rice dish. So that's the recipe in the book. Alright, so what we need water, which is going to help us create this recipe. We also have ground mustard. We have garlic powder. We have frozen broccoli, which is needed. We're going to be making some cups of rice. I have some natural sea salt for our salt. I have some grated Parmesan and 2 packs of cheddar cheese. Now, the reason why we need all this cheddar cheese is because I'm actually doubling the recipe. And then right here, we're making a white sauce from scratch. So I have some butter, some celery seed. I have some pepper that I can ground up, cornstarch, vegetable broth, and then I'll use a little bit of salt in the white sauce as well. Alright, so the white sauce recipe is actually in this book as well, and we have the rice back there getting boiled up and cooked, but I want to share with you a little bit about this from scratch vegetarian white sauce. So what we have to do next is to take our medium saucepan. I actually have another one. We're going to melt some butter. We're going to sprinkle some cornstarch over top and cook that, whisking it constantly for about 2 to 3 minutes, it says. And we're going to look for it to be foamy and simmering, and we don't want to let it get brown. So that's what we're going to start with this particular white sauce that we're making. Then we're going to add vegetable broth, and we're going to whisk that constantly for 3 to 4 minutes until it thickens, and we're going to see it simmer as well. Then we'll remove from heat, whisk in some celery salt, and season to taste with salt and pepper. Alright, so we're going to make that now. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around and do that. But this is interesting. I made a similar dish that came from this particular book. The dish it was like a tuna casserole, and I made that a couple weeks ago. So it was like my first time making a white sauce. So I'm going to attempt it again. I hope that it goes better this time. It wasn't terrible the last time, but I know I could use some work. So let's go ahead. I'm going to get behind the camera and I'm going to go ahead and show you all how this goes. Alright, hopefully you all can hear me well. At this time, I did some of this off of camera because I was getting flustered because this is my first time recording and cooking on camera. So what I did was I put the frozen broccoli in this container, the rice, the cheese, and now I have some of the sauce in here. And I'm just going to take my time and stir this around. Besides a few seasonings like garlic and ground mustard that need to go in this should be ready to go in the casserole dish and then into the oven. And I will share with you all how that goes as well. And of course, I'll share the finished product, how it looks. So in other disasters today, I forgot to cook the chicken that I had decided I was actually going to put in the dish. Now the recipe originally didn't call for chicken, but I wanted some protein in this. So I decided that I was going to add chicken. But what I'm going to do now is I'm probably just going to have chicken breasts on the side that I'm currently cooking in my Ninja Foodie, which I love. I was able to pull that chicken out of the freezer and stick it on the grill and cook it from frozen on the Foodie. That's actually one of the things you can do with that machine. So that machine is just so helpful. Now I have the ground mustard. I need half a teaspoon of this. So we're gonna put that in, sprinkle that around, and then we need a half a teaspoon of garlic. I'm going to sprinkle that around as well. And then we just need to combine this well, so we're going to start stirring again. And then the next thing will be to put it in the casserole dish. And I think this is just going to fit in my 9-inch casserole dish. Today's recipe did go kind of wacky. I'm going to totally admit that. I learned some lessons about it. I didn't even use all of the white sauce. And so either I'll make another smaller dish of this, or maybe I can put the white sauce in something else, but I do have a little bit of white sauce left over. Alright, so this is good for me for now. Alright, let's put this in the casserole dish. Alright, I am back. I have my lightly greased pan. Let's hope that this all fits in here and that it's not overflowing. So let's go ahead and start. I really think this is going to just fit. I'm thinking that the next recipe we do, if I dare to do this again, will be juicing, because I've been juicing and I'm not saying I'm much better at that, but it was funny. I was telling my mom that I still have a lot to learn, and I came into this with a lot of confidence, and I feel like I still have confidence. Because for me, as long as I like the way it tastes and my husband likes the way it tastes, we're good over here. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, I will continue to learn more about cooking, especially as this holiday comes, and just with more chances to cook, because we're definitely cutting down on takeout and pre-prepared foods that you just like throw in the oven, or even fast food, like I was saying. Alright, so this is almost empty, so it did fit in here. The oven is preheating now. I believe, yes, I did preheat it right. I preheated it at 400 degrees, and this will go in for 30 minutes. Not sure if you could hear me. This will go in for 30 minutes, and covered with foil. And then after 30 minutes, I will remove the foil and it will cook for an additional 10 minutes. And then it should be just about ready. So with my husband and I, this will definitely last us a couple days, especially with having it with chicken. It may be 3 days that it can last. All right, another thing that we need to do is add some Parmesan to the top and some pepper. All right, so I have this Parmesan here, and I'm gonna add some pepper that I'm gonna grind on top. Next stop, the oven. Hey ladies, so I'm on the couch now. I'm tired, I'm hot. I've been cooking over the hot stove. The oven is now on, the Ninja was on, and that was hot. So the meal is actually cooking now. It's got about maybe 20 minutes left on it, and then I have to take the foil off and then do that last 10 minutes to have it brown. But I hope that you all enjoyed seeing me get some cooking done and just me talking through it and sharing with you all what that was all about. And I will definitely put in the end of the video how it tasted, and I'll actually show a clip of what it looked like once it came out of the oven. But I did mention Noah earlier, and I was actually reading the scripture Hebrews chapter 11 verse 7, and it said, "By faith Noah, being warned by God concerning events as yet unseen, in reverent fear, constructed an ark for the saving of his people. By this he condemned the world and became an heir of the righteousness that comes by faith." And so what I thought about Noah, first of all, is just how much he trusted God. He trusted God when God shared with him events that had never happened, that had never been seen. So, you know, if someone gives you an idea of something, sometimes you can at least imagine it, and maybe, you know, it would be easier for you to believe. But all Noah had was his faith and the fact that he trusted God, and that was plenty for him. And so I was relating it back to our mental health. You know, there came a point in my mental health journey where it was hard for me to see what I was actually like before the effects of the bipolar disorder and the anxiety and the agoraphobia. I did not remember the girl that I was before that. And that was really devastating, because I believed in my heart that I wanted to be healed. But first of all, I didn't trust God necessarily to heal me. And I would say that trusting God really took a level of faith that I had to take a grasp of before, you know, I could really walk fully in my healing. And when I talk about healing on this channel, I know that many of us that have mental illnesses, we still feel the effects of mental illness on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And I'm not saying that I no longer experience those effects, but what I am saying is that I'm able to live through them and live in such a way that I am able to thrive. And so when I thought of Noah, I thought how great his faith was to believe something that he had not even seen was going to happen, and that he needed to trust God's instructions. And so for me, there became a point in my life that I wanted to bring up to you all for encouragement. You know, if you are like me and you're at a point in your mental health journey where you truly don't remember the person that you used to be, maybe you just remember glimpses of that, and you just know that you are having a really hard time getting back to that person. That for me is a moment when I decided that I had to trust God for what my healing would look like. And I never imagined that my healing would look exactly like it looks today. That I would be a girl on YouTube, on social media, who has her own personal website, who is sharing the gospel and the goodness of God, and how much the goodness of God has, where it's brought me from, you know? So it's just so amazing to me. And just the things that I want to touch on is that, you know, God is here. You know, he's here And he wants you to have faith and trust in him. Even if you can't imagine what healing will look like for you, and you can't imagine you ever being well again, or for instance, ever imagining that you'll be able to, for instance, go to a supermarket again, or go to a family wedding, or I don't know, things simple as getting up before 12 noon. You know, those things can be hard for us that struggle with mental illnesses and mental challenges. But what you can do is put your faith and trust in God, that when you seek him, when you seek help, you know, through your therapy, when you seek help through the medications that you are taking, through the groups that you may be involved in, you can have faith that those things that you are doing aren't in vain, and one day they're going to pay off. It's actually building up to a point where you will look back and see your prayers answered. And so I'm walking in answered prayers now. I'm walking in the answered prayers of my mom, and the many people that she had praying for me, and my dad, and the answered prayers of my husband. And so that is just such a beautiful thing. And I'm also walking in the answered prayers of myself. You know, there came a point when everybody else could believe for my healing, but I truly had to believe for my healing on my own. And so now I remember when I was close to hopeless, and every day I would focus on a scripture, or I would focus on a specific song. And now I'm at that point where I'm like living past that song. I'm seeing what I imagined of back then. So I just wanted to share that with you all concerning the story of Noah. And I love Hebrews chapter 11 because, of course, it speaks of the different people who had great faith in God. And, you know, it's just a beautiful thing. So there are a couple things I wanted to add as well. All right, so some other themes that I saw from this story of Noah are the following. So, for instance, the Lord gave Noah shelter in this huge storm, this flood that was coming. He gave him the exact instructions that he needed to build this ark. And so that shows that, you know, God is also he's a place of protection. He's a place of shelter. You don't have to be afraid when you are in his arms, when you are in his grasp, and when you are following his instructions, what his word says and what he tells you to do. Also, I thought about the rainbow after the flood. And for many of us, we can think of the rainbow that was after the flood as the life that's after all of the suffering that we deal with. Because I really believe that for many of us, we do experience a lot of suffering, but also for many of us, we get to a point in life where things are better than they used to be. And we might go through ebbs and flows where things are up and down, but personally, in my experience, everything is not always horrible. And so I'm so thankful for the times where I do feel great, because when I start not to feel well, I really can think of, you know, this is going to pass. I've seen what God can do before, and I know he'll do it again, and I'll be at a better place, you know, come however long it takes. I'm just going to keep trusting him in everything. I also wanted to touch on waiting and patience, because Noah had to have patience, and he had to wait for this flood that God was speaking to him about. And I'm sure that was a long wait. And so I think about the process of healing. The healing process can feel really long, and it can make us be very impatient sometimes. And so I just want to encourage you, like some of the great people of faith in the Bible who had to wait on things, wait with patience, with faith in your heart that the things that God has promised you, that the things you have prayed for, if they are in alignment with God's will, that they will come to pass. If God said he'd do it, it's going to happen. Sometimes it doesn't happen on our timetable, but when we wait, it's just important to have patience. And, you know, I had to have a lot of patience as my healing journey has, you know, gone about throughout these past several years. There were certain things that I wasn't able to do probably 5 years ago that I can do now. where 5 years ago I may have thought about those things and was so frustrated that I couldn't do them. But you know, God was taking me on a journey. He was taking me on a process of healing that had certain steps and certain milestones He wanted me to reach in order for me to get to the point where I am now, you know, with spreading the gospel and with being a content creator and, you know, wearing the different hats that I wear in Her Faith Walk Ministries. Alright, so this is the final product. I've got the grilled chicken there. It's seasoned with rotisserie seasoning. And then we have the broccoli, cheese, and rice casserole. Alright, so I'm excited to try it. I did have a little bit and it tastes good already. So I will be creating a blog post / blog devotional of notes for this video. It will include maybe some details about the cooking, but really for sure it will include some of the things that I'm touching on with the story of Noah and how it can relate to us even in our mental health journey. So I hope that this video was really inspiring to you. I hope that you enjoyed the different things that I'm starting to do. Let me know in the comments, did you enjoy that I showed the cooking first and then I got on camera towards the end and spoke to you all, or would you like it mixed in? I kind of want to know what you all would like to see. So this is the first of many to come. So please stay tuned for next week's video. Next week's video is a craft with me, I believe. Let me be sure about that before I say that. And it will have something to do with the holiday season. Yes. Next week is a Craft With Me blog, and please do come back. It is a Craft With Me blog about being seated at the feet of Christ. These vlogs and the content that come along with them are part of this month's series, which is the Divine Mind series, and it's from mental health struggles to faith-filled triumphs. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it on here. So today we started with how to trust God in everything. And in those notes, I'm going to have some things that will help you all learn to trust God in everything, so it becomes more natural to you. All right, so I believe that is it for now. Definitely, if you are not on my email list, please go over to my blog and see the different free resources that I have for you. I am constantly building that collection over there, and if something jumps out to you, definitely download it. It will automatically put you on my email list, and then as content comes out, as special announcement comes out, you will receive those messages as well as more free offers that come out. So I'm so excited to start this vlogging journey, and I hope that you all enjoyed the first video. I will talk to you in the next one. Make sure you come back to craft with me next week. Later.